What is RNA? Can anyone tell me?
Ribonucleic acids.
Polymers.
See, I tell you, if you have to define any polymer, just you have to tell that it is a polymer. Don't give like a full form. You have to tell the meaning that is carrying the full form meaning of that full form. Ribonucleic acid. What does it mean? What do you understand actually? At the molecular level, what do you understand? Tell me.
Polymer of ribonucleotides.
Okay, polymer of ribonucleotides. That is a definition. A ribonucleotide. And then one is polymer. Then next, what do you add then? So if it is a polymer, it has to be linked by something. This ribonucleotide has to be linked by something. It cannot be free. By
diester bonds.
Which diester?
Phosphodiester.
You have to speak all the terminology, not just diester. Diester, if it can be diester, carbon diester, it can be carbon diester bond like this. So if it is like, so if you take just diester, so I can write this, and this will not be correct. So diester means you have to speak of phosphodiester. Phosphodiester. Same as DNA. The bond are same as DNA. So what is the difference then from DNA? One is single strand. So if you compare DNA and RNA, so how is this RNA different from DNA? One is DNA double strand. This is single strand. What else? What else? What is the difference then? Other differences.
In DNA, one oxygen is less.
Where? Where oxygen?
Third position.
Huh?
Third carbon position.
On second carbon. Second carbon.
So which component has that lack of that oxygen?
DNA.
DNA of which component? Whole DNA? Everywhere? What is that? Which part of that second carbon? Is it base? Is it phosphate? Is it sugar?
Sugar.
So that is what you have to tell. So it is DNA is deoxy sugar. Deoxy ribose is there as sugar at second position. Second prime position. Good to know. Okay, great. Good. At least you remembered position. That is, I'm happy for that. Okay. And then RNA has a ribose sugar. So this is two difference. Good. Then what is this third difference? Can you tell me? Third difference? This is difference in sugar. Is there any differences in base between DNA and RNA?
DNA has thymine and RNA has uracil.
Yes, that is good. Thymine and it has got uracil. So what is actually how this uracil and thymine are different? In which group? Uracil and thymine is different in only one thing. If you draw the structure of base, so this is what? This is structure of 2-oxo group. This is structure of uracil, common structure for uracil and thymine. But this thymine has one more methyl group here. Uracil does not have this methyl group. That is the main difference between thymine and uracil. And I told you this uracil is synthesized from thymine is synthesized from uracil only by methylation process. So remember this. So these are the basic difference. The most basic differences are this. Okay, these are the basic difference in chemical structure of DNA and RNA. Both have phosphodiester bond. Both have phosphodiester bond. DNA is polymer of deoxyribonucleotide. This is RNA is polymer of ribonucleotide. That is the very big difference. And the double strand, one is double stranded, RNA is single stranded. You can see RNA is single stranded. RNA has uracil. So this each represent one nucleotide. This represents the diester bond. So you can see DNA and RNA will be like this in our body, and then RNA will look like this in our body. You can see uracil is there. Now, so this is DNA. This is RNA. Can be actually normally this RNA is not like that. RNA will fold on each other. So this is how it may look like this double stranded. Okay, it may look like double stranded, but it folds on itself like this. It is not exactly double stranded. It folds on this. If you can see, it may look like double stranded in the body, but it is not double stranded. It is not exact. Complementary strands are not there. They are folded on each other. That is why they look like this. So this is RNA and this is DNA. So you can see the polymer of a ribonucleotide, the oxygen containing ribose. It is not deoxy. You can see. And then it has got uracil, not thymine. It has got uracil. So it is, and you can see this phosphodiester bond. So polymer of nucleotide, ribonucleotide linked by phosphodiester bond. And it also has same thing like DNA. It has got 5' terminal and 3' terminal. So 3' and 5'. So this is not H. This sometimes phosphate can be, but H. OH, 3' OH is there. 5' phosphate is there. So this is the same way we actually give. We go through the same way. We consider this 5' head and this as tail. 3' as tail. And polymerization also happens from 5 to 3. When RNA synthesis occurs, the polymerization occurs from 5 to 3' in the cell. 5 to 3' in the cell. So synthesis wise, polymerization wise also the direction of polymerization is similar to DNA. And many things are similar to DNA. Few things are different from, many things are similar to DNA also, and there are many things which is completely different from DNA, because these both are called nucleic acid. So that is why nucleic acid has to have some similarity, but they are different from DNA. And we have known how they are different. You can see this is double strand, and this is RNA. So this will give you a glimpse of how different they are. And initial slides also has already given you glimpse of how they are different. Now you can see from this. So single stranded RNA is single stranded. If sometimes if you see double stranded, it will fold on itself, forming an hairpin. This is hairpin. Doesn't hairpin look like this? So hairpin, it form double stranded in hairpin. It folds on itself, and it is naturally double stranded. DNA is double stranded always, and except some virus, some virus, there are single stranded DNA virus are there. So except that, almost in all species, DNA is double stranded. It has got ribose sugar, it has got deoxyribose sugar, and pyrimidine is thymine, and here uracil. So three basic difference you can see. And then RNA is relatively labile molecule. It is very not that stable as comparison to DNA. DNA is more stable than RNA. So stability, if you see, DNA is more stable, and there are mechanism to repair DNA, but there is no mechanism to repair. There is no mechanism to repair RNA. So DNA repair mechanism exists. DNA is stable protein, and DNA is present inside nucleus, and RNA will express outside nucleus. These are the differences in DNA and RNA. So platform, the working area of DNA is inside nucleus, but RNA function outside the nucleus. Though it is synthesized inside nucleus, it functions, RNA functions outside the nucleus in cytosol. So this spontaneous degradation is very slow, and genetic information can be stored for years together without any change. That is why if you see the we actually sometimes DNA can be found from the old creatures. For example, dinosaurs that has been extinct. We can extract DNA from that DNA from fossils, and that DNA can be analyzed. So DNA is very stable in comparison to RNA. Remember that one thing. So let's first classify RNA. So how many types of RNA do you know? How many types of RNA are there? Yes, tell me.
3.
Types of RNA. Anyone?
tRNA, rRNA, snRNA.
tRNA, rRNA, and snRNA. What is this snRNA?
Single nucleotide.
Yes, single nucleotide.
Ribosome.
Single
Single
nucleotide.
stranded.
If there is single nucleotide, do you call it RNA? tRNA, RNA, mRNA.
Yeah, mRNA.
Don't forget these simple things. tRNA, rRNA, mRNA. First, speak mRNA, and then tRNA, and then rRNA. So these three RNA are dedicated for protein synthesis. They are dedicated for protein synthesis. They are involved in protein synthesis. Okay. So mRNA, tRNA, and rRNA, they are involved in protein synthesis. Now there are a few other RNA that regulates protein synthesis. That are the regulatory RNA. Okay, that are called regulatory RNA. These RNA are siRNA, small interfering RNA, and then microRNA, miRNA. So small interfering RNA and microRNA. These two types of RNA, they regulate this protein synthesis. They actually inhibit this mRNA. These bind to mRNA and inhibit mRNA. So you can see these three proteins are dedicated for translation, and these are regulatory RNA. And you can classify RNA into three groups. We will classify not based on this. Let's see this, how we classify. We classify RNA into three groups. First group is translation. Those RNA that are involved actually in translation. So you see mRNA, rRNA, and tRNA are the part of this translation process, because rRNA will form ribosome where translation happens. And you know this tRNA carry amino acid. This carry amino acid that will form polypeptide, that will polymerize. So this tRNA will carry amino acid. mRNA carries a sequence of nucleotide called codon. So these are the three functions of main RNA that are involved in translation. And you know this in eukaryote. I am talking about eukaryote right now. In eukaryote, this mRNA is not synthesized as mRNA. There is pre-mRNA. mRNA is a pre-mRNA, and this mRNA will be processed to form mRNA. And this processing, there are few RNA that process, not protein only. The RNA will process RNA. These RNA that process this RNA, mRNA, from pre-mRNA to mRNA, these are called small nuclear RNA that convert pre-mRNA to mRNA. SN means small nuclear RNA. These are a small nuclear. Why do we call nuclear? Why do we call nuclear? Because this is the only RNA you will see it function inside nucleus. This is the only RNA which function inside nucleus. That is why they are called small nuclear RNA. Now, microRNA and small interfering RNA are regulatory RNA. So, did you understand these three RNA categories? First is the this mRNA, RNA, tRNA. These are involved in translation, and this is the RNA that actually process mRNA. These are called small nuclear, and then third is regulatory RNA. These three types of RNA are present in our body in broad category, in human body, in eukaryotes, but prokaryotes only have this tRNA. It does not have other RNA, rRNA. It does not have other RNA. So did you understand this difference between the number of content of RNA in prokaryote and eukaryote? Tell me. I want you to memorize this whole thing. For example, for the time being, translation, mRNA that carry out translation, sorry, RNA that carry out translation. These are mRNA, rRNA, and tRNA. And mRNA is formed from this tRNA, sorry, this pre-mRNA. By processing, this rRNA and tRNA are the RNA. Actually, I'll tell you, this RNA processing, RNA processing, is the process that happens only in eukaryote. If you see, actually all RNA are processed. This is not the initial RNA. You see, I've told you this is the initial RNA. And rRNA is also not synthesized as it is utilized. The synthesis of rRNA is also different. It is in the form of pre-rRNA. I will tell you. And this pre-RNA will be processed to form RNA. This tRNA also in eukaryote, it is synthesized in different form, pre-tRNA. And this pre-tRNA will be processed to form tRNA. So processing RNA process, that is post-transcriptional. What is the process of synthesis of RNA? Tell me, process of RNA is called what? Tell me, anyone? Be quick, please.
Transcription.
Yes, transcription. And this processing is called post-transcriptional modification. This processing are called post-transcriptional modification. This post-transcriptional modification happens in eukaryote. Okay, this post-transcriptional modification happens in eukaryotes, and this is the major one. The post-transcriptional modification of this to this, we will talk about this, and little bit about this also, but we will talk in detail about this. So you have seen this three major type of. One is this is involved in processing. Processing. It is actually part of, you can call this is part of enzyme. This RNA and proteins is there. This small nuclear RNA are combined with protein, and they are they will form spliceosome. We will talk about what is spliceosome. So let's see this. So understand this prokaryote have only 3 mRNA, and that mRNA, the protein that synthesizes mRNA that does transcription from DNA is RNA polymerase. So this prokaryote has only one RNA polymerase, only one, and this eukaryote has 3 RNA polymerase. 3 RNA polymerase. So I told you here because I will, if I tell you, you have to understand this prokaryote had 3 RNA polymerase and more different types of RNA than prokaryotes. Eukaryotes have this RNA polymerase, RNA polymerase 1 synthesize rRNA, RNA polymerase 2 synthesize mRNA, RNA polymerase 3 synthesize tRNA, T for 3. So tRNA is synthesized by tRNA. tRNA is synthesized by RNA polymerase 3, rRNA by RNA polymerase 1, mRNA by RNA polymerase 2. So these 3 types of RNA polymerase are present in our body in eukaryotes. So remember that is the difference between this transcription. There is difference in transcription. There is difference in post-transcriptional modification, and there are few RNAs are only present in prokaryotes. So these are basic difference between eukaryote and prokaryote. So let's talk about messenger RNA. So messenger RNA, as I told you, it has got codon. So I will talk about this codon. Maybe after we finish this RNA synthesis, that transcription RNA, and then we will talk about transcription. After transcription, we will talk about this codon and protein synthesis. So for the time being, you see this codon is group of 3 nucleotide together. It's called codon. You can see here one codon of 3 nucleotide. Second, so nucleotide are differences in base. That is why we represent this nucleotide by base. So this group of 3 nucleotide bases are codon 3. So 3 group are 3 nucleotide 3 nucleotide will form one codon. So you can see this codon are present in RNA, mRNA, and mRNA that is present in bacteria is very simple type of RNA, simple mRNA, but in eukaryote you can see the mRNA is very well dressed mRNA. You can see it has got tail. The mRNA has got tail and mRNA has got cap. Eukaryotic mRNA is so eukaryotic mRNA has got what? Cap and tail. Did you understand this? You can see cap and tail. But cap and tail is not present in prokaryotic mRNA. So did you get the difference between mRNA present in prokaryote and eukaryote? Tell me. Tejal?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what are the difference between prokaryotic mRNA and eukaryotic mRNA? So these differences, note these differences. These differences, I will put question from these differences. mRNA, prokaryotic mRNA and eukaryotic mRNA. What is the difference? Tell me. First, tell me about this eukaryotic mRNA, Tejal.
Eukaryotic mRNA has a cap and a tail.
Okay. Cap and tail. Okay. Then prokaryotic.
It does not have a cap and tail.
Yes, does not have cap and tail. That is the so cap and tail does not have cap and tail. And third difference, you will see this mRNA. mRNA in bacteria is synthesized in the mRNA itself. Okay. there is no RNA processing, but eukaryotic mRNA will undergo processing. This long type of mRNA will be converted into small mRNA, and that is also with cap and tail. So remember this long HN, this is called hnRNA, or pre-mRNA will convert into RNA. So codon, it has got codon, prokaryotic, you will see no processing. It has, and then remember this one terminology, as soon as from DNA, RNA is synthesized in prokaryote, because see, in prokaryote there is no nucleus. Imagine that context. Everything happens inside the cytosol of the bacteria, that's cell sap of the bacteria. Everything happens in one compartment only. So what will happen, as soon as this RNA is synthesized, so ribosome will bind here and start synthesizing protein. Ribosome will bind here and start synthesizing protein. That is why in prokaryote you will see this translation and transcription happening together. Translation, this is called co-transcriptional translation. So translation, transcription happen together, and there is no processing. Direct synthesis of RNA, and from RNA direct synthesis of protein. So this is the very peculiarity about prokaryote, because everything happens in one compartment. But in eukaryote, this everything does not happen in one compartment. First, mRNA is synthesized. This precursor RNA is synthesized. Pre-RNA is synthesized. Then this pre-RNA will undergo processing. The processing, it will form mRNA. And then this mRNA has to be exported from this nucleus to cytosol for translation. So you can see the stepwise process is there. There is no simultaneous transcription and translation that we see in bacteria. So what is processing that happens in eukaryotic mRNA? These are the processing. So polyadenylation is the processing, addition of tail. Tail is composed of polyadenine nucleotide. So nucleotide with poly-AA nucleotide. So polyadenylation, and then cap, 5' at cap. Tail is at 3' end, and capping is at 5' end. And then there is third phenomenon called splicing. Splicing is the phenomenon of conversion of this big chunk of pre-mRNA to mRNA. So you can see three differences you will see in between bacteria and eukaryotic and prokaryotic are mRNA. One difference is cap, second difference is tail, and third difference is processing of all this chain. I will talk about this. So three differences we will see between this mRNA. Now let's see this. What is processing of this mRNA? Now you can see there are this DNA. There is, I will write this DNA. So when you see the DNA, so DNA, when this RNA is synthesized from DNA, what will happen is the DNA, this RNA have two regions. One is coding region, other is non-coding region. This exon is called coding region. Coding. This is called non-coding region. What does coding region means? Does anybody know? What does coding region means? Please be quick. Try to answer.
Codons.
Yes, codons. That means coding region means the region that is responsible for protein synthesis, that code for amino acid and proteins. That is called coding region. So this region, this blue region you see here, these blue regions are responsible for synthesis of protein. These are the codons are present here only, not in this gray region, this gray region. There is no codon. Now you can see this is an processing of ovoalbumin gene. You can see big there are big introns are there. This non-coding region is called introns. Remember these two terminology. Inside, inserted inside, you can see. It is called introns. Non-coding RNA in the whole HN RNA is called, this is HN RNA. The non-coding region in HN RNA or pre-RNA, precursor RNA, mRNA, is called introns. Non-coding region is called introns. You can, if you can see, this introns are like, so introns has been compared with the ocean, and then exons are has been compared with the islands. So these exons are, you know, where do you live? Do you live in an ocean or island? Tell me, where do you live, you people? In ocean or island?
Island.
Okay, yes, island. But do you know Earth? Earth has more islands or more ocean?
More ocean.
More ocean. So islands are less. Islands are less. So we actually, though it is a small islands, it can be big islands, but we live on islands. So these islands, we have compared, these islands are like exons. Exons, where it has got function. Islands are like exons, and these oceans are like introns. So exons are considered island in the ocean of introns. Exons are islands in the ocean of introns. So remember that. So these are islands in the ocean of introns. So that, what does that mean? That signifies a very important concept. So introns are very large in comparison to exons. Coding regions are very small in comparison to non-coding region. That is, coding region are large in comparison to non-coding region. So as we know, the functional zone that is called island are smaller in comparison to ocean, that where we don't live. So these are introns. Now these all introns have to be removed. These all introns have to be removed. So how does this intron is removed? So this process of removal of introns are called splicing. Let's see first. So you can see here addition of this cap is here. Now again addition of tail will be there. So tail will be added, poly A tail will be added. After addition of cap and tail, there is a capping and polyadenylation. What will happen? This part will be removed. This part will be removed, and this part will be removed, and this blue region will be joined together. The process of joining together of this blue region is called splicing. Splicing is process of joining exons together. Did you get that? What is splicing?
Sir.
Splicing is process of joining of exons together. Joining of exons together, not introns, removal of introns. Sometimes if somebody asks you, the people tell students say that okay, splicing is removal of introns. Rather than it is removal of introns, it is a process of putting all the exons together by removing those exons. So putting together, joining together is the splicing. So this very interesting process is called splicing. So did you remember this process, this terminology? Did you understand what is splicing?
Yes, sir.
And what is this capping and polyadenylation?
Adding capping.
Okay. Adding cap and adding
tail.
Nucleotide. Okay. Actually, this is intron here, poly A tail. So you can remember this is processing of mRNA. So this is called post-transcriptional modification, post-transcriptional processing of mRNA. So this is all about three function happens for processing. One is capping, second is addition of tail, and third is splicing. So three function will happen for processing of pre-mRNA. So this is how we get a mature mRNA. Now this mRNA will go out of the nucleus. This go out of the nucleus for protein synthesis. Now, you see this, about 75% of hnRNA are degraded. Only 25% mRNA will be processed in a correct manner, and it will form mRNA, and mRNA will go out of the nucleus. So did you understand this whole concept of hnRNA, mRNA?
Sir.
Yes. So this is very important. So what is 5-methyl cap? We'll describe what is that cap. So cap we have already studied. Do you know this slide? Do you recognize this slide? Tell
Yes,
me.
sir.
So this slide is the nucleotide slide. We have talked about this uncommon bases. So this cap is uncommon base on the mRNA. And there I told you mRNA has a 5' cap. You did not understand there, but here you will understand. This cap is nothing but guanine cap. Guanine with 7-methyl guanine cap. So you can see guanosine. Where do you see 7-methyl guanosine? Here you can see 7-methyl. So this is ribose and this is guanine. Guanine at 7th position, there is one addition of methyl groups. So 7-methyl guanine form a cap. Actually, there is function of this cap. Two function of cap. Cap help in one function. It protects mRNA damage from exonucleases. It protects, first function, it protects mRNA. Cap protects mRNA, and second function, help in translation. Help in binding to ribosome and then translation. Eukaryotic initiation factor 2. We will talk about this. Will bind here, and it will, after binding this, it will be recruited to ribosome. So two functions are there for cap. So this is cap is very important. This cap is nothing but guanine. But see, if you can see, this is the cap, 5-methyl guanine. Now, if you can see everything here, if you can see everything here, so just forget about this for the time being. Forget about this. Remember this. Forget about this. Remember this only, okay? For the timing, remember this only. What do you see here? Can you see 3' here and here 5' and phosphate? Do you see here?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you can see this cap is very different, inverted type. This cap has to be joined here. It has to join this by here, by 3'. Isn't it? Should be, isn't it? See this?
Yes,
it
sir.
has to be joined by this. But see, but it is joined by this 5' phosphate. Can you see? It is joined by 5' phosphate. And there is 3' here, free 3'. So that this cap, because of this nature, this different type of bond formation, because of this different type of bond formation between this 5', this is 5' to 5' bond. Can you see? This is 5', phosphate, 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 triple phosphate. Then 5' bond. This 5' to 5' bond. That is why this bond is resistant to endonuclease, exonuclease. 5' to 5'. Did you understand this 5' capping? Cap?
Yes, sir.
So understand this 5' cap. So I will not talk after translation. I will not talk about this capping. After translation, I have post-transcriptional modification. I am telling you right now only during RNS only. You can see this. Now I told you. So this is splicing. You have already seen this whole process. The splicing process access. Splicing is joining of this exon together to form mature mRNA. So this splicing is done by a particular protein, actually RNA protein or RNA. These are called small nuclear RNA. Okay, these are done by small nuclear RNA. So let's talk about this small nuclear RNA. So with RNA only, RNA synthesis and processing, what is coming? Three things are coming. You can see with RNA only three types of RNA are coming with mRNA. One is hnRNA, one is mRNA, and then third is this. So three mRNA are associated with RNA synthesis and processing. Three types of RNA are involved in this only. So you can see this translation, actually this splicing, this small nuclear RNA indirectly help in translation process only. So this is that is why you can classify this mRNA into translation group and then regulatory group. Let's see. So these are, you can see these are RNA. You can see these are RNA will be there inside. These are RNA proteins. So these are named from U1 to U6. You can see U6 and U. Can you see here? U1 and U6. Can you see here U and U6? Tell me.
So
this small nuclear RNA are named like U1, U2, U3, U4, U5 and U6. So this 6 type of small nuclear RNA, snRNA, will do splicing. So it will do splicing. It will remove this intron part and this join this exon together. These two exon together like this. So this 3 type of RNA protein. These are RNA. With this RNA, there will be associated protein. So this RNA actually does remove this RNA function like an enzyme. They remove this chunk of introns and join this exon together. So this process is called splicing, and splicing is carried out by small nuclear RNA. So this is the function of small nuclear RNA. So did you get this small nuclear RNA?
sir.
Now you can see these are the spliceosomes. So don't focus on this complicated history. Just understand this joining together. So these are RNA. You can see these are RNA U6, U4, and U5. These are RNA. So they will form spliceosome with protein. They will form very complicated structure. And what does it do? It does nothing but it will. There is a introns here, and this. They actually remove these introns, and join these exons together. That is the final purpose of this snRNA, which are named like U1, U2, U3, U4, U5. So this is small nuclear RNA. Now let's talk about ribosomal RNA.